Welcome to the Motor Life F1 podcast, episode 13. We're always on the search for interesting new guests. And today we have one. She's Bidanya Barassa, former model. She's currently the managing director of Top Image Africa, a cancer victoress, a juicing and gym addict. What else have I forgotten?
A love of life.
Perfect. And F1 is life.
Yes.
And we're here to discuss about your recent activities. How is your day life? You do tend to travel a lot.
Yes, I travel for both business and also for vacation, leisure. And every time I travel, of course, it's a different experience. I try to really embrace the culture. If it's business, I still embrace the culture. Of course, there's the business side, but I always put some free time to discover the place I'm in terms of the food, culture, travel. But both are quite exciting.
Okay. When, say, you have a quick trip to Johannesburg or somewhere, it's 2 days. How do you compact that day into what you want to do and what you have to do?
So usually for my business trips, I try to make it a minimum of 3 days and a maximum of 5 to 6 days, depending on the meetings I've been able to put together. And the reason I do that, because day one literally is travel. I usually love my KQ. Unless KQ can't go to the African countries I'm going to, then I'll probably do Emirates. But, by the time you get to the country, by the time you get to the hotel, the check-in, the day is already gone. And at times I'm super exhausted because I'm not a morning person, especially the African flights whereby we need to be at the airport at 7 a.m. I really don't understand that. So by the time I get to the country, I'm exhausted. I need to relax, get really to the mind frame of business. So usually that day is literally off and I try not to do any meetings. I might go to the gym if I'm able to and not exhausted. So day 2, day 3, day 4, it's meetings back to back. And then day 5 and 6, I now take it easy. I do a little bit of shopping because I love good stuff. I love shopping.
Good to hear.
And then relax, maybe do a spa treatment. But those 2 days are just taking it easy and then preparing to come back home.
Okay.
Yes.
As a frequent traveler, how would you rate KQ and how would you rate JKIA?
KQ, honestly, I do hear terrible things about them, but my experience has been great. And I thank God. And if there are delays, I do get notification way in advance because, of course, I'm in their Flying Blue program. And I tend to check in online literally either a day before. So I can get notifications whether there's delay or not. So I haven't had any terrible issues with them. And I know many people complain about them, but at least by the grace of God, it's home. Me ni Kenya damu, so I try to support wherever I can. But of course, when it gets to a level whereby it affects me, then I'll have an issue. And that's the reason why I do the meetings a day after. Because if you're going to do the meeting same day, then the possibility of you being late, getting stressed, because with travel, things can happen. There can be delays. You never know. So that's why I tend to book my meetings a day after. So if there are any delays, it doesn't affect any pitch that I'm going for, any business appointments.
Okay. I think I also have a good personal flying chi, personal God experience. So
yeah.
I usually don't have bad experiences,
Yes.
and I touch wood that does not happen.
I know. And then, I pray before my travels. I pray for my luggage. I pray for the airline. I pray for the people I'm flying with. I do everything because, at the end of the day, I need God's protection because you never know what can happen in the airwaves. So I do pray everything from the start of my journey to the end of my journey. And of course, my bags are literally something that I'll be stressed about, but also I've never lost any bags with KQ. Touch wood. By the grace of God.
Now, you recently, a month ago, just had a trip to Spain where you attended the Spanish Grand Prix.
Yes.
That's what brings us here to talk about that.
Yes.
What was the genesis of this trip?
All right. I needed a break from work. It's been a hectic year back to back. And I have friends who told me they're going for the Grand Prix. And I was like, you know what? Yes. And this year I've told myself I'm going to be a yes girl. So if there's a trip, it's yes. How I'm going to make it, I'll make it in terms of work. And play around with my calendar. But I said, if there's an opportunity to travel, to do anything that I haven't done before, I'm going to be a yes girl. So when they told me that there's a ticket and if I'm willing to go, I was like, yes, why not? And Barcelona, I've been to Barcelona last year for summer with family. So this one was going to be solo and I was really looking forward to it. And of course, I love fast cars. I love watching Formula One. Love watching action-packed, raced, full-packed movies. So I got excited and I said, why not?
So this was your first race?
This was my first
Wow.
race.
But
yes.
to a city you've been to before?
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what package did your friends put together for you? Was it 3 days? Was it 2 days?
It was a 3-day package.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we just did one because so it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We went for the Sunday ticket. It was a package for the 3 days, but we went on Sunday because on Friday, I think they were practicing.
Yes, practice on Friday.
Yeah, and then Saturday there was
qualifying and practice,
and then the finals. So we
Yes.
decided to do the finals. Why? Because we're still enjoying the city. We went out until very late, just being on a holiday. And of course, Spain, Barcelona is a beautiful country. There's so much to do. And yeah, so we're just enjoying the town before F1.
Okay. Now, Barcelona is kind of in the news because it's a city that gets a lot of tourists.
Yes.
I think I read 12 million.
Yes.
And the residents are now furious because
Yes.
they say it's driving up the costs of housing.
Yes.
And they're now trying to chase away tourists in parts of Spain,
Yes.
parts of Italy. Did you encounter any of that?
Thank God, no. It happened, I think, a week after I got back or 2 weeks after. And that season was very low in terms of tourists. You could see there are not many tourists, but it was still a busy city. And the reason why they're also going through that, because they're going through quite a lot. In fact, they want to separate, number one, Catalonia. And then also there's the issue of water. It's an issue. Even the airport, they don't have AC. It's crazy. And, we're not talking about third world. This is, developed.
Yeah.
And they're having issues of AC in the airports because they're going through quite a lot, like you said. And it's unfortunate because it's really a beautiful place. But at times I do understand what they're saying because there's some areas you go, it's fully booked. You have to, I think as a local, you probably have to book in advance to get into restaurants and many other stuff. So it becomes, I believe, stressful, but it's bringing them money. I don't know. So it's a catch-22 situation.
Okay.
But thank God we didn't go through that.
When your friend invited you to attend the race, did you already have a Schengen or you had to now go start the application process?
I already had a Schengen visa for 5 years again.
Good for you.
Thank God. Yes. And I got it last year when we were doing the family vacation to Greece, Spain, and Italy.
On the 2 days you were in town, what are some of the things you did?
Lots of walking around, lots of eating, trying new restaurants, cafes, shopping. Spain has the best shopping because you get 20% off in terms of tax refund.
Do you get that at the airport when you leave?
At the airport.
Okay.
If you have time, of course, you have to get at the airport. At least get the stamp at the airport. Make sure you go through all that process. If you don't have time to get your cash back, you can actually come home and email it to them. But just make sure you go through the stamping and verify the goods that you bought. But it's a flawless process. It's very easy. You get your money immediately at the airport if that's your option. Or if you come back to country, like last year, we didn't have time, but we had them stamped. We were able to post them within a month, and we're able to get our refunds within 6 weeks. So it's very flawless. It's not like South Africa. Sorry, South Africa. But it's really something you should take advantage if you're going to Spain.
Was your whole group of family and friends? There was no diehard F1 fan who was saying, look, there's activities on Friday, there's activities on Saturday.
My diehard fans, I think, were confused in terms of enjoying the other elements in Barcelona.
Okay.
But they were diehard to make sure that we went there on time. He actually made sure we had a bus that what is it called? A private bus, because where the F1 was taking place was about 1 hour from from town,
Yes.
if I can say. So it's a 1.5 hour drive. So I was able to get a bus that actually carries more than 20 people, but we're a group of 8. So that was amazing. So he made sure we left by 11 because the races were starting at 2. So we're there by 12:31, walked around, bought our memorabilia. Of course, I bought my Mercedes memorabilia. Can't wait to wear it and show it off. Sorry, guys.
Should have done it
And
today.
then I should have,
Yeah.
right? Why did I not? I should have. But yeah, so we had time for that before we got into the race. So yeah.
Now, did you put on your MD hat at any point? Did you look for opportunities? Can we partner with any organization?
Do you know what? Unfortunately, I did not. Oh, it's a good thing I did not, because I even told my office, I told them, guys, I'm away for 6 days. Please deal with anything that comes. Do not get in touch with me unless it's absolutely necessary. And I told them, if you guys can handle me being away from 6 days, then I have a problem with you guys. So I made sure work was off, because at times it's hard for me to switch off from the MD hat. But like I said before, I think I was getting burnt out. I just needed time to go and chill, relax, enjoy. So I made sure that I did not think about business and just was on a holiday. I did carry my cards, my business cards,
Okay.
but no talk of business happened.
How would you rate your experience, the positives and the not so positives? Any encounters in Spain?
It was all positives. I really did enjoy myself. Unfortunately, I didn't meet Hamilton. I would have loved to. That would
Okay.
have been great. But of course, that's me dreaming. You never know. But just the whole experience. The only thing that I found very, very interesting is at the F1 in Spain, they don't offer you any wine or, you know, there's lots of food, but everything was non-alcoholic, which I find it quite off.
Okay.
I don't know whether because there'll be a lot of, I don't know, is it theft or maybe hooligans? I don't know why they didn't, but because I hear in other F1 formulas, they actually give you that option. So everything was non-alcoholic beer, especially by Heineken. That was the main sponsor. And then food stands. Even the food stands weren't that impressive. You know, it's a hot dog, burger, expected more. So on that element, I really did expect more in terms of that. So that was quite off, but that was an interesting part. But I understand, because when the F1 was over, the crowds that were leaving. So I think that's why they did not offer any alcoholic drinks, because it would have been maybe hectic trying to control the crowd.
And I think some of the what are now called the older European venues, they are now having challenges where the number of fans is now very large, and and now you now see logistical challenges with the infrastructure, with traffic, with the concessions.
So. Yeah.
Okay.
Because the crowds were massive. I'm told the tickets were already sold out, and you have everyone from everywhere coming in. Even just leaving the track, it took us about just 30 minutes to 45 minutes leaving because of traffic. So I guess, but there were many people. And I think it was beginning of summer, so it wasn't too hot. The weather was perfect. But it's interesting the number of crowds that showed up. All ages, all very few Africans, to be honest. I saw very few Africans. But yeah, it was interesting.
Okay. We saw your Instagram. You had great seats. You had the first corner.
Yes.
How was that?
Oh, that was amazing, because you could see them right from takeoff. So that was amazing. And even there was a camera on the right-hand side, so you could also see the details from that, and even the positioning. So it was an amazing place to be, because I was at the fast. Even it was just close to also the pit stop. So it was an amazing place to be and exciting. Yes.
Now, you didn't give yourself a lot of time at the race, and there are lots of activities. You did a bit of pit walk.
Yes.
You can do different activities depending on the kind of ticket you have.
Yeah.
But I hope if you go back for F1, please give yourself the full 3-day package.
I know, I should.
And spend your time at the track.
Abu Dhabi is the place I want to go, and I'll make sure for the 3 days I'll be there documenting from A to Z.
Okay. Now, you call yourself a cancer victoress.
Yes.
How has that journey been?
Very, very. For me, it's also life-changing. It's 13 years, almost 14 years this year, cancer free.
Well done.
Yeah, and going through colon cancer, of course, it really showed my strength. I didn't know I was a very strong woman, both in faith and also mentally, because for some reason I knew this is a war I needed to fight mentally and not really physically. And also my strength in God. Like I always say, I did have a pact with him. I told him, yes, I'm going through this, but we need to agree on certain things. And it came through for me. And just the strength of prayer, the strength of belief, knowing that there's someone who can fight your battles, because there's some battles you can't fight by yourself. We go through this world thinking that we've done it all, but some things, it's not you. It is there's a spiritual being or God, if I call him God, but people have different names, but there's someone who looks out for you, because you just walking out of the house and coming back, it's a blessing. Anything could have happened there. So during my journey, um, really was scary at the beginning, especially when I was told I had to go through chemotherapy, because I did go through my surgery whereby the removed 4.5-inch growth on my colon. And after my surgery, I thought, okay, that's it, because it was stage 2. Until the oncologist came and told me that I have to do chemotherapy. And that's when it dawned on me that I actually do have cancer.
Wow.
Because when you hear about chemotherapy, it's nothing good, because it's all poison in your body. And at one time I said no until mom asked me, do I want to die? And that's the realization, said, okay, this thing could actually kill me. Or, so let me just focus on getting the treatment. So I did chemotherapy for 8 months, 12 sessions. Not the easiest thing to go through. I keep on saying that is not something I'd want to wish on my enemy, because it's you fall sick. But I was graced by falling sick for 3 days, and then I go back to work. But one thing I told myself, and I called it little C, and I say this little C is not going to change my life. And what people do is when they go through difficulties or things, they give it the power, they call it the monster or this big thing or this big issue. You give it so much power. I gave it very little power. And I told you little C, me and my God, we're going to fight you. You're not going to change my life. I still travel to South Africa. I still went to South Sudan. I know I'm so crazy. I didn't work out because I needed to reserve my energy, but go out with friends, during my good days, because I would have 2 weeks and a half of good days, while the 3 days I'm bedridden. I would go out, travel, eat, dancing, work. My boss at one time said, oh, you don't have to come to the office. You can work from home. If you don't have Wi-Fi at home, we can come and set up the Wi-Fi for you. It was such an amazing boss from Tetra Pak. But I said, no, life has to go on. And every time I left the office, I told them I'm going for my cocktail. I didn't tell them I'm going for chemotherapy.
Oh,
So
wow.
everything I did was, you know what? You, little thing there, I'm going to deal with you. You don't have power over my life. And yeah. And after that, of course, I needed to arm myself with knowledge. Because after treatment from the doctor, the oncologist, they say, okay, you're okay, clear, you're healed, bye. They don't tell you now going forward, this is what you need to do, because you don't want an occurrence. Because it can be from your genetics, which is only 5%. The rest is lifestyle. I keep on saying that it's your genes that load the gun, but it's your lifestyle that pulls the trigger. So what you do 95%, it's very critical because it's lifestyle. But I had to learn through that. No doctor told me that. So lots of reading in terms of prevention, lots of reading on how to change my lifestyle. And I had to look at myself, was I stressful? Because stress is a high issue when it comes to cancer. It's really one of the key causes of cancer, especially if you look at breast cancer, but many other cancers. So I was like, is it stress I need to get from my life? Is it anger issues that I haven't dealt with? Is it my food? The sodas I used to love drinking? Is it the processed foods, the milk? So I really had to change my diet. So my diet is 80% clean and 20% is, it's the flexible one whereby I can drink my wine, drink my champagne. Because again, life is for the living. You have to balance it out. So 80% of the time I'm clean eating, and the rest is, where I can play a little with my food. And then also just working out, the benefits of working out. That's why I think I'm a gymaholic. They have shown through studies 40% of most cancers are preventive. and curative by you being active. Movement is key. And unfortunately, that is something that people struggle with. But moving, that could be walking for 1 hour. It could be weightlifting, which I love. I don't do cardio.
Okay.
I love lifting weights. Skipping, swimming. There's so many activities you can do because it's very important for longevity. But all these things I did learn through my
Research.
And then juicing. I came into juicing by a guy called Chris. I can't remember his last name, but he's a cancer survivor for the last 18 years. And he got into raw juicing, raw eating. He had colon cancer stage 3. He refused to do chemo. He did his surgery. And he's been doing juicing throughout. I'm like, and then he also talks about many people who've healed their cancers through juicing and also other health diseases. So I'm like, if this is working, people are not talking about it. People are not doing it. Why? So I said, let me do it. And I believe that's the thing also that has kept me cancer-free all these years. Not only me, but also by the blessings of God. But yeah, so juicing is critical. Some people come to me, oh, but you're wasting the fiber. Why not smoothies? It's such a waste. But I'm like, it works. It's medicine straight into your bloodstream, first thing in the morning. Fruit is life. In the Bible, fruit is life. So that is something I keep on fighting with people. And at times I get very angry with those guys who come for me because I'm juicing. I'm like, if only you knew. But yeah, so that's why I'm into juicing. And that's how I started juicing.
You've answered about seven questions, which I had here.
Yeah.
And thank you for that testimony.
Thank you.
A show I used to watch called The Sopranos. They called cancer the big C.
Yes.
And
can you believe
you call it the little C?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go back to one question, which I'll ask again. Why do you think so many young people have cancer these days? Is it just that there are more scans and there's more awareness?
No, it's lifestyle.
It's lifestyle.
It's lifestyle, sedentary lifestyle. Think about it. We go to our offices, even the young people, you're sitting on your TV or you're sitting on your phone, you're watching social media from this time to that time, you're not very active. Before, people are very active. The second point is our food. It's become more contaminated because of pollution. People want produce faster, quicker, bigger. So again, pesticides and herbicides and also the fertilizer they're using. Mental, people becoming more stressed because again of social media, trying to be who you're not, trying to live like the Joneses. So there's quite a lot of that stress really affecting the young people. And so I believe that's the reason. Our lifestyle choices is what's really increasing the rate of cancer, not only in Kenya, but also around the world.
Okay.
What we eat. I'm sorry, dairy is not good for you, but...
And you were a Tetra Pak lady.
I know, before that, until I did my research. It's all about research, unfortunately. But Tetra Pak is now producing oatmeal and almond milk. I saw that in the shelves and I'm like, yay, go. But dairy, honestly, and they've shown studies about what especially milk can do to your body. We're talking about prostate cancer in men, which is on the increase, and men are wondering why, but it's because of milk consumption. I know guys will come for me, but I'm ready.
I love milk.
Breast cancer also, because it's all hormonal. And the issue is what they're putting in the milk. But if you take it straight from a cow, from a Maasai, it's okay because it's fresh. But there's so many elements that it affects your hormone in terms of milk. Then processed foods like sausages, bacon, eat that once in a while. That should be your 20%, but not 80%, that people are eating sausages every day, bacon every day, all these processed meats every day. Red meat also, kwanza nyama choma, kuku choma, also reduced on that because of the coal element. It's shown 40% increase in colon cancer. The same with processed foods. And us Kenyans with nyama choma. I love my kuku choma, my goat choma, but again, I have that 20% of the time. So there are many, many...
It has to be burnt. It has to be well done.
Yeah, and then if you want something grilled like nyama choma, at least put some olive oil, basil, because that cuts now the carcinogenics in the food, the carcinogens. So there's all this, and there's so much study about it. But of course, I keep on saying, doctors and pharmaceuticals are not going to make money from you being well.
Yeah.
It's through you being sick. So you have to take the initiative as yourself to make these changes, because if you're waiting for the world to do it for you, you'll wait a long time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, F1 as a sport, it's
Yes.
been touched by cancer. I was looking up a couple of people who, past bosses of the teams, past bosses of the sport.
Yeah.
Not many initiatives. There was a year McLaren painted their cars pink
Yes.
for one race.
Yeah.
And do you know Valtteri Bottas, the driver?
No.
He's a former Mercedes driver. He now
Yeah.
drives for a different team.
Yeah.
And he's got a funky mohawk haircut.
Yeah.
And he's got a calendar. It's a nude calendar,
Mhm.
but it's to support cancer.
Really?
And there's
I'll
a
read
site.
about that.
Yeah, the name is like it's kind of vulgar, but it's like botus.com.
Oh goodness.
Yeah.
I'll check it out.
Yeah. But no, so not too much about cancer going on in the
Yes.
sport,
Yes.
but I think
Yeah.
it's one which they do have initiatives where they connect with fans,
Yeah.
especially terminally ill kids.
Yeah.
They have a bot at some tracks where drivers can have a conversation with kids in their hospital beds.
Oh,
So
yeah.
so not too big in terms of their sustainability push, but there are small things which are ongoing.
Yeah. And not many people like talking about it, but I think it's important to talk about it.
Well, if you met Hamilton, you could have compared his veganism with your juicing.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, he's been 200 times in the podium, and 104 times he's won all that. So it's amazing.
And I think you may have brought him luck, because that was his first podium this year in Spain.
Oh, yes, Bidanya's luck.
Yeah. And then he won that or the next race he won.
I know he did. And now he's going to Ferrari.
Yes.
I don't know, because Ferrari hasn't been doing very well.
Have you been to Italy?
No, I haven't. I've been to Italy several times.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But their cars have been having issues, right? I mean, you know best.
It's been a couple of rough years.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we always have faith. They had a funk of about 20 years. Then they had a success run of about 6 years.
Yeah.
Then they've entered a slump now of another. It's now about, again, almost 20 years.
Yes.
But in between, they came very close, very, very close.
Yeah.
And they would just have bad luck in 1 or 2 races.
Yeah.
But maybe the combination of him and Ferrari will.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Because they're saying Mercedes that the engine for 2026 is way, way better, and they're priming for the win. So that's something to watch out for. Yeah.
Mercedes engines have won the last 3 races. And they're really making this season very exciting.
Yes.
Yeah. Last year was, quite honestly, was a clunker. Yeah.
Yes.
One team winning all but one race.
Yeah.
But this year we've had about 6, 7 different winners.
Yes.
Advice to first-time travelers to the Spanish Grand Prix next year. What did you tell young Kenyans, Sunny here or Dushi, who want to attend? What did you tell them to do?
Definitely go as a group. Plan in advance, because the tickets go out quite fast. So we purchased the ticket like 2 months before the travel. And through purchasing in advance, you have a selection of where to seat. So that's very important. So do that in advance. Go as a group. It makes it quite exciting. Take time off to enjoy the city. Don't just go for Formula One and that's it. Also take days off to just enjoy the city, enjoy the nightlife, do a bit of touring here and there. Book your tickets in advance as usual. I'm that person who plans. I'm not the last minute person, so I make sure that's all planned. If you can, again, hire a car or a van, I think it's more exciting. And buy memorabilia. That's very important. I was able to get my Mercedes jacket and cap. Like you said, I should have brought it. That is going to last me a lifetime. I should take a selfie in it soon. But, get some memorabilia. And especially when I bought it and Hamilton won, I was like, oh my God, yes. So that was super exciting. And for the young ones, not very young, but if you have an opportunity to travel, do it. It's just gives you an understanding of the world, and it makes you so mature in terms of interacting with different cultures, being in different places. I always say travel expands your world. So take that opportunity if you can, and appreciate and thank God if you are already traveling. But definitely that's something you can do. Start saving if you have to. Beginning this year, I wanted to be I think there was someone on TikTok who had a box and they said, every day, whatever money you have, just stick it into the box.
Okay.
And then at the end of the year, count it. I needed to do that. And if you can do that, you'll be amazed by how much you can save. And then you can save for your next trip. But definitely it's an experience to go for.
When your box is full, what's the next race you want to go to?
I want to go this year to Abu Dhabi, the final race.
Okay.
Yes. And I'm going. Not I want to.
Say it.
I'm going.
Okay.
I'm going. I'm claiming it. I'm manifesting. Yes.
Okay. This weekend is Belgium, the 14th race of the year.
Yes.
And the 24th and last one will be Abu Dhabi on the 6th to 8th December.
Yes, exactly.
I hope we'll be there.
Yes, I'll be there. December is not too far and it's not too close. So that's the plan.
This weekend is Belgium, the Grand Prix at 4 p.m. on Sunday.
Yes.
Where will you be watching, if you're watching? And what are your predictions for the race?
Oh, my. I don't know. I hope I'll be watching. I think I'll be watching it. I'll be at Mom's place. I'll try to watch it. Prediction, it's so tough. It's so tough. I really can't. But I believe Mercedes is doing a good job. But also there's Red Bull that comes in very strong. So, those the two. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Bidanya. Where do we find you? Online? Which platforms?
On Instagram, I'm very active on Instagram, on Threads, and that's at Bidanya Barassa. I'm also on Twitter, but not very active. I'm on TikTok. I'm still trying to understand TikTok. That is one social media that I really do not know. But basically, that's where you can find me.
Okay.
Yes.
We'll put all the links in the links after this.
Thank you.
Will you talk about Spain on your podcast, your trip?
Yes, I'm going to talk about it on my travel segment, definitely. Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. This has been the Motor Life F1 podcast. Look forward to the race on Sunday from Belgium and catch up with more interesting guests in future and enjoy the race this weekend.
And thank you for inviting me.
Karibu.
Bye.